You think she doesn't care. You think going no contact will go unnoticed. You imagine her smiling, moving on, not looking back. But let me tell you something real. No contact hits her. Not always immediately, but always deeply. Because the man she thought would chase vanished. And silence, when delivered with strength and focus, becomes deafening. When you go no contact, one of the first things she feels, whether she admits it or not, is the sudden loss of control. It's about disruption of the emotional rhythm she was used to. Maybe she was used to you checking in, replying fast, showing interest, or even pleading after things started going sideways. Your presence, your energy, your attention. It was a steady stream. Even if things weren't going well, there was a comfort in knowing you were still there, emotionally invested and easily reachable. But when that stops cold, when you disappear without drama or explanation, it creates a void. And that void stings. She doesn't know what you're thinking anymore. She doesn't know if you're hurt, healing, moved on, or worse, doing just fine without her. That uncertainty is powerful. It triggers questions she wasn't prepared to ask herself. She might have assumed she'd always have access to you, emotionally or physically. But now that access is gone, and with it, the control over the situation, she thought she had. People don't often realize how much of their sense of power comes from being able to provoke a reaction. When you go silent and don't react, when you simply vanish from her emotional landscape, it sends a clear message. You're no longer available for emotional games, explanations, or half-efforts. That's not cold. That's called having boundaries. By going no contact, you're removing her ability to influence your emotions on demand. And that shift shakes her. She's left wondering why you're not chasing, why you stopped caring, or if she even mattered at all. That's the real impact of no contact. It changes the dynamic completely. Without saying a word, you took the power back. And whether she shows it or not, she feels it deeply. When you go no contact, one of the strongest effects it has on her is the doubt it creates in her mind. She may not show it on the surface, but the silence gets under her skin. Suddenly she's left wondering what's going on with you. Are you hurting? Are you angry? Are you missing her? Or, what hits hardest? Have you already moved on? That question alone can spiral into overthinking. No contact removes the reassurance she used to get from your messages, your presence, and your reactions. Now, there's nothing but quiet. And in that quiet, her imagination starts to fill in the gaps. She begins to think about the possibility of you with someone else, someone who's appreciating you in ways she didn't. She starts to imagine you out, focused, glowing up, getting attention and not looking back. Even if she was the one who left, even if she said she needed space, the reality of not hearing from you can create an emotional itch she didn't expect. No contact removes her ability to read you, and that mystery becomes fuel for her curiosity. She wonders if you're truly letting go or just pretending. That mental tug-of-war begins to wear on her. This is where your power grows. You're not posting about how much better you're doing. You're not reaching out to prove a point. You're just silent, focused on your own path. And the less she knows, the more she starts to think. That space makes her question whether she really understood you, or worse, whether she underestimated you. No contact isn't about revenge. It's about allowing silence to build uncertainty and letting that uncertainty create pressure. You didn't have to say a word, but your absence made her start to ask all the questions you used to ask yourself. When you go no contact, something unexpected happens that she might not show right away. Her ego takes a hit. Whether she ended things or pulled away emotionally, part of her likely assumed you'd chase, try to fix things, or at least show signs that you're still hanging on. That expectation feeds her sense of importance. It confirms to her that she still has power in the dynamic, but when that expectation is met with silence, the ego gets bruised. And that's not about love. It's about control, validation, and pride. She may not have even wanted to reconcile, but deep down she expected to feel missed. She wanted to see that she still had an emotional hold over you, that you were struggling without her. When that doesn't happen, when you don't beg, argue, or even reach out, it sends a signal that she might not have meant as much as she thought. That's a hard pill to swallow, especially if she was used to being the one in control. The lack of reaction forces her to sit with a new version of reality, one where you're no longer emotionally orbiting her, one where you've pulled back, not to manipulate, but to protect your peace. And that absence of attention makes her question her place in your life. She starts to wonder, did he really let go? Or worse, was he stronger than I thought? No contact works not because you're trying to hurt her, but because you're stepping back from a place where your energy wasn't valued. That shift unsettles her ego, and the more she reflects on the silence, the more she realizes she no longer has the emotional influence she once did. That's when the silence starts to speak the loudest. When you go no contact, it forces her to take a step back and reflect on the relationship in a way she might not have done before. Without the constant back-and-forth communication, there's no distraction from the core issues that led to the breakup. The silence creates a space where she's left alone with her thoughts, and that can be a powerful thing. She begins to replay the events that led to where you both are now, and in that quiet, she starts to look at her own actions and decisions more closely. Without your presence constantly reassuring her, she has no choice but to think about what went wrong, where she might have failed, or what she might have overlooked. Maybe she starts questioning whether she truly understood you, your needs, or your feelings. She might even recognize patterns in her own behavior that contributed to the situation. The absence of your energy creates an emotional void, one that forces introspection. It's in that introspection that the clarity begins to hit. Perhaps she was too quick to judge, too distant, or maybe she didn't appreciate you enough when she had the chance. This reflection doesn't always lead to immediate regret, but it definitely opens the door for deeper self-awareness. And this is exactly why no contact can be so effective. It's not about making her feel guilty, but about giving her the space to reflect on her own actions without your constant presence or reassurance. She starts to see things more clearly and realizes, maybe for the first time, the full scope of what she had and what she's now without. When you go no contact, it's not just about creating distance. It's about making her respect you in a way she didn't before. At first, she may feel confused or even frustrated by your silence. But over time, something shifts. As the days and weeks pass, your absence becomes more powerful than any explanation or emotional plea ever could. What begins as an unsettling void transforms into an undeniable sign of strength. By choosing to protect your peace and refuse to engage in drama, you send a message that you're no longer emotionally available in the way she may have expected. And that's where the respect starts to grow. She begins to see that you're not chasing validation. You're not begging for her attention or approval. You're not looking for her to fill some emotional gap. Instead, you've removed yourself from the emotional roller coaster and reclaimed your space. That speaks volumes. You've become someone who can walk away, who can hold their ground, and who values their own peace over the need for resolution or closure. And that is a rare quality, one that commands respect. As she reflects on the situation, she realizes that you didn't fold when things got tough. You didn't beg for a second chance or compromise your dignity in an attempt to win her back. Instead, you focused on yourself and let time reveal the truth. That realization often hits harder than she anticipates. She may not admit it right away, but she starts to respect you more because you didn't chase her. You didn't break, and you didn't lose yourself in the process. Over time, this respect builds, and when she looks back, she'll understand that the silence was your most powerful statement of all. No contact isn't about playing games. It's about reclaiming your power, protecting your peace, and giving both of you the space to see things clearly. She will feel it. Let her. And you? Focus on becoming the man she never thought you'd become without her. Because sometimes silence isn't weakness. It's the loudest statement you'll ever make.